Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate how to do the catch stitch. So the catch stitch is useful for a lot of purposes. One that we use it for a lot is hemming. And so to prepare my piece, I folded up a 1-inch hem along one of the long sides. You'll also notice again that I've marked where I'm going to place my stitches. Not strictly necessary, but I like to do so to keep my stitching even. So we're going to be crossing back and forth from the hem allowance fabric to the main body of the fabric. So I've offset my markings so that when I'm on the hem allowance, I'm about 1/4 of an inch from the edge. And when I'm on the main body of the fabric, I'm just above the edge of the hem, and my stitches are going to be offset in a slightly triangular pattern. So for the catch stitch, we're going to be working from left to right. If you're right-handed, if you're left-handed, you're going to find it easier to go from right to left and work the opposite way. But we're going to start here at the left side, and we're going to bring our thread up underneath the hem allowance so that the knot is nestled in that hem, and the tail is nicely enclosed. And while I'm going to be working this way, my needle is always going to be stitching this way. So I'm going to form stitches moving left to right, but I'm going to actually pick up threads in my fabric from right to left. So once I've come out of that first hole on my hem allowance, I'm going to come over just a little bit and up above the edge of the hem to the body of my fabric, and I'm going to grab just a thread, maybe 2 max, from the body of my fabric. Just enough to catch it. The tinier that stitch, the less your stitching will show on the outside of the garment. So once we pull that tight, we should have a diagonal stitch. And then I'm going to bring my thread back across it so that I'm crossing over that first stitch that I created. And I'm going to come just about the same distance away, but back down onto the hem allowance fabric. And I'm going to catch just that layer. I want to make sure that I'm not coming through the main body of the fabric because I don't want that stitch to show on the outside. I want to get just the hem allowance layer. And then I'm going to pull tight. And then we're going to repeat that process. We're going to come up to our next marking, catch just a thread or 2, pull it tight, bring our thread back over itself, catch just a thread or 2 of our hem allowance layer. On this one, on that lower edge when you're on the hem allowance, if you catch more than a thread or 2, as long as you've just got the hem allowance, it won't show on the outside. But it takes a little bit of practice to catch just 1 or 2 threads as you're making those top stitches. So as you go in your forming stitches, you should start to see um, kind of your diagonal crisscross pattern starts to form. So as I'm coming to the edge of my fabric, I'm going to take one more catch up on the main body of the fabric. And then to finish off the stitch, I'm going to bring it back underneath my seam allowance to tie my knot. And then in this case, because I have an edge, it's pretty easy to tuck my tail underneath because that edge is exposed. If I were to be hemming something that is circular, like a pant leg or a skirt hem, you can also send your needle through the edge of the fabric and then bring it up to the surface a ways away so that that tail, oh, don't want to pull it too tight, is in between the body of the fabric and the hem allowance, and then trim it off right there along the edge of the fabric, and then that tail is secured inside of your hem. So then you have a finished catch stitch sample.